Hey, hey, it's
Good morning.
Tuesday morning. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's team call. It's the SC1 Factory team call, where we go over everything you need to know and more to be able to build your dreams with a team, right? Because it's always more fun with a team. But we record these calls every single week. It's up on the Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel. You can subscribe there, ring the bell, get notifications every time we upload new content. And then join us live, invite your friends. The Zoom information is always the same for these calls every single Tuesday. So hopefully we'll see more of you on here with us live next week, but we're glad that those that are here. We appreciate you so much. So first of all, announcements, you have them in your inbox. So make sure that you're checking your email for the Momentum Monday email for all of the announcements. But just as a quick run through here, there's several important dates that you need to know about. So make sure that you go and check out the dates that are in that email for what's happening in the month of May. Opening the month call was last night. So hopefully you were able to catch that. If not, they do upload the recordings to the LifeVantage Consultant Facebook page. And then, of course, congratulations to the winners of the free global convention tickets. Guys, there's two ways that you can make more money during this quarter. You can make more money with double sharing bonus as well as rank advance bonus. All the details are in that email. And Mother's Day is coming up on this Sunday. So you still have time if you hurry fast to be able to take advantage of the Mother's Day promotions. Buy two, get one free of hand cream, and buy the mask, get a hand cream for free. And if you did not know, we have opened in Portugal as of today. It is Cinco de Mayo, and we are now open in Portugal for business for LifeVantage. If you know anybody that's there, know anybody that knows anybody. Make sure that you're checking out all of the podcasts, amazing information there from product education to how to build your business and how to understand the promotions that are going on. And just go check it all out, guys. Plus, check in on Big Blue Calendar. We've got the activation tour that's happening in several different places this week. You don't want to miss these tours. We had ours here in Phoenix last week. It was amazing. We took a new consultant with us, and she is super excited. So make sure that you're plugging in and taking advantage of all of the activation tour locations. Even if it's a couple hours for you to get there, commit yourself to your business and go. And then, of course, there's all kinds of presentations going on. And one that I failed to get a slide made for is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 different times on each of those days in the evenings. We've got presidentials that are doing quick 20 to 30-minute opportunity calls. So all of that information has been dropped into the Team Freedom Reigns Facebook page. Go and check it out because it gives you plenty of things to be inviting to build your business, right? And then, of course, every Thursday, we're doing the opportunity presentation on Zoom that you can invite your prospects to, invite your new consultants to, so that we can help them see that this is the right vehicle for all of their goals now and into the future. Zoom information for that is always the same as well, and it's always the same time, 5 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we have Global Convention coming up as the next in-person event. Get registered sooner than later. What does waiting do?
It only costs you way, way more money.
Way more money, or it makes it impossible for you to go because things are so expensive, right? So make sure that you've got your registration, you've got your flight, you've got your hotel booked, and you are set to be with us in Salt Lake City, October 21st through 24th, because you will not want to miss this. We'll have our new CEO with us,
Yeah.
and there will be a lot going on. So we've been doing a really great series. I've really been enjoying this. I hope you guys have been enjoying this too. It's an 11-week series on how to become part of the 1%. So winning with the ITT system, utilizing Invite, Tool, and Team. And, this is not necessarily all about building the volume in your business. It's about building you into the person you need to become before you can be part of that 1%, because you will only build a business as big as the person you are.
Right.
And so let's get really focused in here on week number 4, how you're going to be building relationships, not a customer base.
Yes, yes, yes. And one of the things before we get into this, I really want to talk about is that how to become part of the 1% has nothing really whatsoever to do with skills. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has nothing to do with your previous experience in this industry, or if you're brand new or if you've been in it for 25 years. The difference between the 1% and the other 99 is consistency and a passion behind what you do. So literally anybody can become part of the 1% if they choose to be. Because one of the things that I've noticed in the 17 years that I've been part of LifeVantage, in fact, the 18th, so what is today? Whatever today is
Today's
the
the fifth.
fifth, the Cinco de Mayo. So in 13 days, I will have been at LifeVantage for 17 years. And one of the things that I've seen over and over and over again in this company and all the relationships that we have with people in other companies is a lot of times when you get that very skilled person, the person who checks all the boxes, they've got the most talent, they're good speakers, they're passionate about what they do, they come into the business and it's crickets. Or they go into the witness protection program because for whatever reason, they didn't do much. And then the people that go to the top of the company sometimes are the people you least expected to do it. They didn't really have any experience, that nobody really thought they were good at anything and had some skills. And the only reason I say that is because I don't want anybody to prejudge themselves or the size of this opportunity, or look at other people that are part of this and say, I could never be that person. It has nothing to do with comparing you to someone else. What it talks about and what it is needing, or what you need to become part of the 1%, is just a passion, a pathway to run on, a support team, and do it consistently. And you got all those here at LifeVantage. So let's get into this. Building relationships is critically important. You don't want to build a customer base. Now, I want to prioritize that.
We love
By
customers.
building relationships, you will by default build a customer base. But if you build a customer base, you may not build relationships. You may not build the trust. You may not build the rapport. You may not build the deepness of what that is the meaningful thing, because we are in a relationship business. So focus on relationships and all else will fall into place, because trust is much greater than a transaction. Because you may get somebody who saw your post, who doesn't even know you, and they just happen to be looking for that product at that time, and your post comes across their feed and you get a new customer and you don't even know who they are. Has it happened to us? We've been like, who is this person? I don't know. Somehow they got us, but then they're gone as quickly as they came because they were looking for a product, not a relationship. And then if they get both, then they are going to stay. So trust is critically important. And then people stay because of a connection. They stay because of how they feel. It's one of the things that I love about Carrie Dickey. She says, make everybody that you encounter feel like they've got a sign on their chest that says, make me feel important. And that is the thing. So when people feel connected, they feel heard, they feel cared for, and they feel part of a relationship, and especially a community that's doing great things for people, they will stay. So build human beings, not members. We are all people, and we don't like to feel like numbers or a paycheck or a commission to someone else. We like to feel a part of something and to feel human, because one of the things that binds us all together is we're all human. And that's one of the things that is the most amazing part about this business, is we get to work with people and we build relationships. We are all in the relationship building business.
Yeah, and there's no way around it really, guys. If you want a long-term sustainable business, you have to be willing to go through the process it takes to create that know, like, trust factor, right? And so sometimes that can take a little bit longer than other times. Sometimes people jump right in there pretty quickly because they've known you for a while, they've been watching you for a while. And for you, it seems like, oh, hey, where'd they come from? That's cool. And they can be a really great, long-term part of your business. But we have to have proper expectations, knowing that just putting information out there and, kind of, it's almost like throwing those wet noodles up against the wall and hoping one of them will stick. It doesn't work out that way. So we have to be able to do necessary to build those relationships and be authentic with people.
Amen. So individuals are drawn to other individuals, the attractor factor. So are you that person that people are attracted to? Do they feel your energy? They feel your vibe and they want to be connected to you. They don't even know what you do. They just like the way you show up and how you present yourself. And that is one of the things I love about network marketing.
Yeah. So before you get into the bullet points, I just want to make one point here. And so I want you to just think about it. Have you been thinking, it's like, I'm not attracting the people that I really want to be attracting? If you're not, that means you got to do some internal, investigation and go and say, okay, so if I'm not attracting those people, it's like, what am I putting off? Who am I at my core that is attracting the people that I don't necessarily want for my business or are going to be, people that are interested in our industry, right?
Right.
So sometimes this is a really great opportunity for you to do some self-reflection. Just wanted to put that out there before you got started on the bullets.
Absolutely. And energy is critically important. If you can't get passionate about our industry, about our products, and believe in them, and about our company specifically and yourself, then you need to stop and reevaluate and get passionate about it, because it's going to be what attracts people. So genuine connection, it's the foundation of a lasting commitment, especially when they feel a part of something. So when people are happy, they're connected, they're energetic, and they're collectively doing something that's good for the world, you're going to get people that are looking for that. They just don't know we have it here. And that really is your selling point, is your energy behind who you are, what we do, what you're connected to, and what it can offer other people. Because retention will strengthen through meaningful relationships, and that's how it's attracted. Everything about what we do here at LifeVantage is appealing to people when they know what it is. If it's not appealing to them, they don't know what it is. Or maybe they were just thinking it's a certain product. They don't know really anything about the company. And it's very important. When people have options to buy different products, they're going to find the company they align themselves with. It's been proven by Apple over and over and over again, because Apple used to make computers, but so did Commodore, so did IBM, so did all kinds of other ones. But why did people buy Apple computers over others? Because they felt part of a community. They liked what the company was doing. They liked what it stood for. They like to think different. And that is what people look for here. So when they want to be part of something, they need to be attached to the messenger, which is you. So from a bedrock of trust, loyalty emerges naturally. It's just how human relationships develop. When trust is there, they will lean in and want to know more. And a strong sense of community fuels organic duplication. It just, again, how it is. Like attracts like. Transactions alone don't sustain your growth. They're great. We love them. We never turn down a customer, but it remains out of reach for those who are trying to build a business by attracting customers, because customers aren't duplicating. Their energy is in themselves, what they get from the product. To truly duplicate this, tap into what people want, and is the ability to move people greatly in a positive way. And that is super, super important. So what relationship marketing looks like. So listen more than you talk. So if you think about the ratio of the things that we've got on our face, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that ratio. Listen twice as much as you talk. Listen for the pain points that people have. Listen for the desires that people have. Listen for the passions that people have. And when you can find a pain point and a passion and a desire all wrapped up into one, that is the root, that is the genesis of your invitation. And you should talk about it in the invitation when you send the information. I heard what you said and I felt really badly for what's happening with you. I really think we have something that can help you take a look at this.
Yeah, and this can also help you in your follow-up, right? When you know their pain point, you can also then follow up with it. It's like, hey, I remember back to when you said this, and you've seen some information, and I know that this is potentially something that could be a solution. Are you ready for additional information? Are you ready for a conversation? It's like, what can I do to help you get more information that could potentially lead you to a solution to the problem you're experiencing?
Yeah.
So utilize it not just in how you formulate your invitations, but also in doing those follow-ups, right? And be bold about it, because keep in mind, this isn't about you. It is about someone that has a problem that you have been given the opportunity to provide a solution to.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is a huge deal. And it makes people feel important, makes them feel seen. And one of the things about remembering details, and I do this, so when I have put a new person in my contact, whether I've got their Facebook address or their Instagram handle or their phone number or whatever, when there's details, what's their wife's name? Why did we reach out to them? What are they suffering from? What are their passions? So, and we've got a CRM that does the same thing. So when you interact with them, go refresh your memory of what it is about that person and talk about it, because they're going to remember that you remembered. It's going to make them feel seen and special. And like Carrie Dickey said, feel important.
Yeah.
And then follow up intentionally, not to make the transaction, not to change their life, because relationship marketing, it's not a tactic, It's the posture that you have. And when you can become the person who helps other people and you identify yourself as such, your confidence is going to build, your invitations are going to change, and so are the results. And then celebrate the milestones, celebrate the invitation, celebrate the follow-up, celebrate the questions that got answered, celebrate the fact that you took someone with a question and you turned them over to a team member and allowed that team member to answer the question because you're using the system. When you use the ITT system, the more you use it, the better your results are going to be. Celebrate those types of things.
And remember what we've talked about with celebration? We've talked many, many times about how there's this happy party that goes on inside of your head when you celebrate things. And that celebration and what happens with the hormones in your brain, it makes your brain want more of what it has done to be able to celebrate. And so if you bring your prospects into that celebration process, guess what you're doing? Is this like you're front loading this opportunity for them to say, hey, I'd like more information because they like how it made them feel. So include your prospects in the celebration of learning. It's like, hey, you know what? You should be really proud of yourself for having an open mind to learn these things that could potentially be an answer to what you've been experiencing, and give them a high five if you're in person, or give them a virtual high five, or, whatever it is. Find little ways to celebrate, because it will draw them in.
Absolutely. It reminds me of what I heard Eric Worre talk about, Harvey McKay, a guy that he met early on in his network marketing career. And obviously we know who Eric Worre is. He's very successful in this industry. He told Eric, he goes, the best advice I could give you is every time you meet somebody, find a way to stay in touch. Get their name, find out what their birthday is. And then I don't know the person's name, but every year there's a guy that has been for probably 20 years wishing Marci a happy birthday on her birthday.
Oh, and no, so it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
My kids are 34 and 31. And he's been doing it since before they were born, or no, just after they were born, right? So it's been probably close to 25 years. And he doesn't just do it for me, he does it for my kids too. He calls every single birthday. And
that's powerful.
Well, and he was also our accountant. And so this is a strategy that he uses to stay connected, to make people feel important. And he takes it beyond the sell and the enrollment, because he hasn't been my accountant for 20 years.
Right. That's awesome.
So that's the
admirable
thing, right? That's the thing right there. Taking it beyond.
Amen. Amen.
Yep. It's not just what you can get from them. It's how you can help them feel.
Right. And I think if you had a birthday and you didn't get a call, you'd probably think something was up.
I would think he was dead.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, seriously, because that's how consistent he is every single year.
Like clockwork, right? That's so cool. So ITT and trust. This is really where this builds momentum, starts to build trust, starts to build the relationship, and leaning in to people. So the invite, it starts with a real conversation, because people smell commission breath. They know when it's about you, they know when it's about an attraction, and they know when it's about themselves. So really master that craft of the invitation. And then the tool, serve the tool, do not sell. So in other words, when we say this over and over, this is just another way of saying be the messenger, not the message. They don't need to know how much you know. They just need to know there's a system they can follow. And I learned this, and every time I say this, I'm talking to myself. People don't care how much you know, or if you know the answer to the question. They just want the answer. They don't care who it comes from. And when they can see there's part of a system, if they're looking for a network marketing opportunity and you don't know whether they are or not, and you answer a question, they're like, wow, I got to learn a lot of stuff. You're saying, hey, that's a great question. Let me get you the best answer possible for you. Hold on. And you introduce them to somebody else. They're like, oh, okay. So they've got a system here. I can learn this. I don't have to learn all the information before I can build a business. I just got to get to know who my team members are. That's why the ITT and trust is built when you use it. And then the team, it creates belonging. Everybody likes to be part of a team or a movement or a cause, or as Simon Sinek says, a just cause, something that is making the world better simply because we're doing it collectively. And when it is something that blesses the world immensely, helping them have better health and longevity and better financial security, can't beat that. The social media relationship strategy. Now, it's gotten very, very noisy, very busy, and very messy on social media because people are everywhere trying to do it. The key is consistency and showing up on a regular basis and showing people how they can feel special just by reading your post. And whether it's a sales pitch or whether you're just sharing your life with them, just do it and show it's real. People are looking for other real people to be a part of. And the cool thing about it, and Marci says this all the time, your vulnerability is your superpower. So when you're being real, you're talking whether you stub your toe, you make a crazy mistake, you do something wrong, share it because it just shows you're a real person and people can relate to your struggles oftentimes more than your successes. And your struggles will attract people more than your successes because of comparitis. And people will say, even though we don't want them to compare, they always do. And if they see, oh, this person's having struggles too, but they seem happy, or yesterday they had a bad day, today they're having a good day, I'm still having a bad day, I want to know what they're eating. Or that scene in I don't remember the movie, but I want what she's having when Harry met Sally or whatever. I mean, I'm being crazy about this, but it's true. People want to know that there's a human behind the invitation and the brand and the process. So be human, be real, and be social on social media. Reply to comments, interact with people, engage them. That is a really, really big strategy. And start real DMs, meaning don't just send a cut and paste, or if you do, send a cut and paste because it is easy to use those, but make it personal to that person. Rewrite it, make it personal. Use their name when possible. Use something you've talked about before when possible. Show the behind the scenes moments, like how you use the products. Like this is our P84. I'm drinking it. I haven't taken a sip in a bit, but we do this a lot in public.
Axio X, baby.
Right, it creates interest.
It's one of those days.
Just use products publicly and it's going to make a big difference. Celebrate others publicly. Congratulate people when they make an invite. When they get their first no, make it a big deal because every time you get a no, you're closer to a yes. Let's celebrate the things that don't often get celebrated and do them publicly and congratulate people. It starts to build their trust. I mean, when you get rewarded for getting a no, it's people don't understand that. It's like, what do you mean? They said no. It's like, yeah, which means you're closer to a yes. Let's keep going. And so just gonna show real life, show your real life, be open, be transparent with, there's some limitations there. You don't have to be completely transparent, but be vulnerable and be transparent in being real in it.
Show who you are.
Right.
It's like we're so conditioned in this day and age by the news to be seeing all of the negative and all of the things that sell, right? Because they don't put good news up because they don't think it sells. So show your highlights, but also make sure that you're bringing in the reality of the things that are happening in your life, because that's what people are conditioned to look for. And so you'll get more people looking at the things that are real than the things that are polished. So just utilize that. It's a really good strategy.
Yep. And then the psychology of connection. We are human beings. We like to say yes to other human beings, and we like to feel part of safety. Where they say safety in numbers, everybody likes to feel that. Trust will lower the resistance because people who've never seen it before, they don't know much about the company, they don't really know much about you. They're going to be cautiously optimistic. They're going to be guarded, and they're going to be looking for similarities. They're going to be looking for certain character traits. They're going to be looking for integrity and honesty and products that work. And every one of those things they see, and in every box that gets checked off, their resistance comes down and their trust comes up. Mm-hmm. And that is really, in any relationship, that's how it is. Whether you're a single person and you're dating, you're going to be looking at the criteria of the good parts and the bad parts. And when they start to feel real and you're attracted to them, that is how it happens in every human being relationship, human to human. And they want to see benefits. They want to see a community that they can get around. They want to see honesty, integrity, and trust. And we have that in spades here. Let's just honor what we have and then use it. Familiarity builds openness and transparency and vulnerability. When you are vulnerable, people want to reciprocate. Reciprocity is a huge thing on all things, including negativity. So if you have any negativity, keep it to yourself. So one of the golden rules of network marketing, complain upline and praise downline. Don't ever complain downline because you'll spoil the pot. Even if it's legitimate things to complain about, go upline with it and share your concerns. That's just another part of the connection. Because when you're feeling vulnerable, you've got an issue, your upline, your team of support can feel closer connected to you, especially when you can solve it together.
Yeah.
And then it builds the trust and the belief in everything. When you can overcome adversity with strength and with integrity, you just have a major increase in trust. And then belonging increases your retention.
Well, and I would even say when you take something like that upline and you have these conversations, you're going to see that you're not alone in what you're experiencing, because we've all gone through difficult times. Not the same as what you've gone through, because we all are individuals and have different things that happen, but it really brings that bond in tighter and that trust even closer when we understand that, hey, I'm not alone,
right,
too, in the things that I'm experiencing.
And even sometimes in our industry as a whole, outside of LifeVantage relationships, when something happens in the industry, there are some genuine concerns. And then you can talk to your support team, talk with people in your upline, and realize, well, we understand that it's an ongoing concern. That's why we've made these changes. I mean, the Evolve Compensation Plan is a great strategy behind that.
So
We've seen
smart.
some companies that have had to completely remove their network marketing arm because they didn't do it right. They weren't paying people properly, and they were trying to entice people by making outlandish claims as far as earnings, and they weren't real. And then companies go away with that, or because of that. So we don't have to exaggerate. We just have to trust that our finger is on the pulse. We're a very forward-thinking company. And so all the way to our board of directors, including the new CEO who's coming on August 5th. I can't wait for Terrence to get here. And so the connection before the conversation is something that people are looking for. You don't know how this is the thing. For every one person who comments on your post, there's 10 people that are watching you that never say anything. They're just looking for the right opening. And sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was waiting for. This is the team I'm going with. This is the company. That's the product. And it's just consistency, the psychology of connection, use it to your advantage. And then practical leadership behavior. So the invitation is everything. And check in after the exposure, the follow-up, critically important. And make sure that you in it show your passion, show your concern, and show the reason why you, and reaffirm to them why you sent it to them in the first place. Why were they on your radar in the first place? Ask about their life, not just about the information they sent. How are you doing in this thing? How is yours? And I remember, like right now, there's a guy in our industry. His name is Todd Falcone, a great leader. He's very, very vocal right now, doing a lot of things. We had a very strong connection when our sons, but we have teenage sons that are the same age. Well, actually, they're not teenagers. They're both 20 now. But they were going through very similar things, and I just connected to him dad to dad. And I was texting him every day, how's your son doing this? And we now have a very, very strong relationship, but it had nothing to do with this industry. He's neutral. He's not part of our company. He buys our products, but not from us. But he loves our company, and he has relationships with people in all different companies. But when it's built on trust, then it's incredible. And that's what it is. Practical leadership behaviors are leaning in, and it's about life, not just about the information that you send. Follow up with care, meaning compassion, caring, truly interested in them and how they're doing. And then celebrate effort and progress, because effort is great. Progress is great because you're making momentum, but effort is what leads to progress when it's done consistently over time. And then be known for your encouragement. Be the biggest cheerleader on your team. That is something I'm talking to myself. I could really, really improve upon that and be more consistent in that. That I think we all can. The weekly challenge. Here it is, guys. Recommend or reconnect with 15 people this week. So if you just do it Monday through Friday, that's 3 a day. Whether it's a text, whether it's a call, whether it's a, hey, I've been thinking about you. Hope everything's going great. That's a reconnect. Doesn't have to be anything about an invitation or something you previously said, or how's the product working? Just reconnect and be a human. Follow up with 5. No pitch, just checking in on you. How's things going? You need anything, let me know. I'm always here for you. Whatever, something like that. 3 appreciation messages. I love you so much. I love what you're doing. I love what you're all about. And 3 is awesome. 3 is a great start. If you did 5 a day, and that's my goal, is just reaching out to people who haven't thought of you for a while. And, just hoping everything's good.
I wouldn't necessarily say I haven't thought about you for a while, because it would be like, oh, okay. It's like, or, and that's fine, because that
depends on the person and how long.
Your approach. And I would, and so for my approach, I mean, Dondee and I are different people. Every single one of us will be different. And so we can all do it differently. I might say something like, oh my gosh, you just flashed across my mind, and I wanted to reach out to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
However you work.
This is a really great approach for people that you've actually shared this with in the past, that are on your list, that maybe just kind of fell off because maybe you didn't follow up the way you probably should have, which is what most of us have done, right? Or maybe it was just not the right time for them back then. You don't know what's going on in their lives now. So reconnecting this way, in this relationship focus, could be massive for your business and reigniting the list you already have.
Yeah, in a great way. And I was thinking about one specifically yesterday. The guy I went to chiropractic college with, we graduated, well, next year will be 30 years ago. And Dr. Rick Duenas, I haven't thought about him for a while. It was his birthday yesterday. And I was like, hey, bud, haven't thought about you for a while. Happy birthday. So on Facebook and any social media platforms you're on, it'll tell you who the birthdays are. Great way to reconnect, just to say happy birthday. And a tool, and this is kind of, I've just kind of done this because it seems to work. I may wait a day or two because on the birthday, they probably get a ton of messages.
Inundated.
And a day or two, I'll apologize and say happy belated birthday. I might be the only one. Maybe the other, and sometimes I'm not forgetting, I'm doing it on purpose, just so I can kind of narrow down how many people are probably coming across their feed. Some people get 700 birthday messages on their birthday, but 3 days later, happy belated birthday, maybe 4 or 5. So, just a tactic, it works. So the transaction versus the transformation. Transaction, you make a sale, you enroll a consultant. The transformation is the relationship, the trust that's built, the follow-up. So the transaction is a short-term sale. Great, it works. A product-focused invitation or conversation, and low loyalty is built. Whether they become a customer or not, however long, it's going to be based on the loyalty and trust that you have. But a transformation in the same exact scenario, same customer enrollment, same consultant enrollment, the long-term relationship is built with follow-up, conversation outside the product benefits. Start getting into when it's appropriate. Don't be a creeper. Just talk about, how's things going? Well, I saw you had a great vacation. Tell me about the place. Would you recommend it? Our family's going to go on a vacation at some point. And so people focused, experience focused, relationship focused, which builds high loyalty and duplication, because they're thinking if it's commission breath and all you ever talk about, hey, I noticed you haven't seen that video. What do you think? Do you want me to send it again? What is it about? The video. When it's about them, you ask a different question, you pose it a different way, you phrase it a different way, and you follow up a different way. So make it about a transformation, not about a transaction, and you're going to have long-term, high loyalty people. And this is what the cost of it when you don't do it right. So low retention, high turnover, people dropping off like crazy, constantly chasing people. And do people like to be chased? They do not. They like to be respected. And people truly have busy lives. Honor that. So do you. And then just make that a part of the conversation, because when you don't do it right, you get burned out, and so do they.
Yeah.
And then the deep relationships, how they are created with stability and with trust and sustainable growth, is patience. And you don't want to be like this person having a fight amongst the people and choking people out or anything, because it's about them. Make them feel special, make them feel important, make them feel seen and heard, and help solve their problems. And I always go back to this, but what is Mr. Wonderful on the Shark Tank? He says the biggest way to be successful is solve the biggest problems for the most amount of people. That's how you become successful. Solve problems. Do we have some problems that we can help people solve?
Massive.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Massive. That's the last slide.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we hope that you have pulled out some nuggets from week 4 of the series, and we look forward to going into week 5 with you next week. Please let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you, because now is the time. Just as a recap from earlier, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, we have presidential consultants that are doing opportunity presentations, 20 to 30 minute long. The details are on the Team Freedom Rings Facebook page. Plus, with our Thursday night, that means 4 nights a week, you've got opportunity presentations to be inviting your prospects to. So let's get this thing done, start building those relationships and following through, and your business will start growing because you focused on you first and you grew you. Yes. All right, guys, thanks for being here.
Appreciate it so much.